So if you live in public housing right now, you already know that working does not work for you. Why? Because as soon as you work, what happens? Your food stamps, your Medicaid, any TANF, all your benefits, what happens? They absolutely get slashed. So much so that you lose more money working than if you just stayed home and did nothing. Huh? So what if I told you that my promise to you on this video is I am going to show you, one, how to maximize your benefits, if not increase them. Two, how to increase your household cash, all while avoiding huge rent increases if you live in public housing. You're going to say, really? Show me the money. Show me how to do that. Well, if you don't do what I tell you in this video, you're going to end up like Homegirl. Homegirl is mad as hell. She's stuck. She feels suffocated. She can't breathe. She feels like she's in a mousetrap and nothing she does works because it's like climbing up a ladder and no matter how far, how fast she moves, she goes absolutely nowhere and she is mad as hell. Okay? Now, if that sounds like you, keep listening. Now, if you are not disturbed by the community brutality, our youth are in trouble. If you feel like God is calling you to an answer, listen up. This is why it's important for you to get free. This is why it's important for you to continue watching this video so I can show you how to free up your time, figure your shit out, so that you can get to the business of doing what God called you to do. That's important, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you, but that's everything. So here's my 3 hacks. Let's start right now with hack number 1. Boop. Financial aid. So I am actually giving you my blueprint to how I was able to get out of the system. Number 1, I realized when I was given an ultimatum to come out of school because they said they was not going to pay for me to become an attorney, that they would pay for me to become a CNA. Vomit. I don't have the stomach for CNA. That was not what God was calling me to do. However, when I went to my professor, she told me not to come out of school and she gave me a play, and I have taught thousands of women this play right here, financial aid. Because some of you might be thinking, I ain't trying to go to school. Okay, then stay broke. We're not doing the whole, oh, go to school, get an education so you can get a good job and you can, like buy the American dream. That does not exist. What I am telling you to do is solve your economic thirst. Number 1, get the monies coming in, keep your benefits. Why? Because this income is not counted as income. This is monies that is not counted as income. So when I learned, because I was not going to allow the system to make me into a crook or a criminal or a liar or a thief, I started to call the social worker like, yes, I got this check from school. She was like, well, where'd you get the check from? I said, I got it from school. She said, oh, well, we don't count that money. And I'm like, what you talking about, Willis? What you mean you don't count this money? You mean you're not going to count all this money over here that I'm getting, these $7,000, $9,000, $12,000 checks that I'm getting every semester, 3 semesters? She said, no. I hung up the phone and was like, yo, I'm never coming out of school. I literally was a 12-year student. I got like 4 degrees, studied for my PhD and ran out of money. What I didn't know is every American is entitled to $136,000, which they call the aggregate, amount, the max, that is regardless of your credit. So right now, if the bank told you that you could get your hand on a $7,000 loan and it was not predicated on your credit, you will be at the bank tomorrow, if not today, by 3, filling out the application. So you got to just figure out, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? Right now, you got to figure out. Right now, you got to get the hell out of there. You got these kids. They need you need the TANF. They need the food snappers. Do you understand how much the food is? Everybody wish they had some food snaps. Food snaps. The SNAP program. Everybody wish they had SNAP. Okay, so they mad. I wish I had SNAP. I wish the SNAP would have just rolled over. However, it is expensive to take care of children, especially if the dad is not paying the child support. That's a whole nother different story. So if you in this on your own, boo, I'm going to show you the way to increase your maximize your benefits, increase your household cash. So right now, you just increase your household cash by $20,000, anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000, depending on what education you already have now. Do you have an associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree? Whatever it is, this money is not counted. Housing can't count it, so your rent don't go up. Food stamps can't count it, so you don't lose your benefits. So you could choose. You could go to work at a Walmart and or some kind of customer service, or be some fake ass top security guard of the world, Craig, for like minimum wage. Or you could take your ass back to school, go read and write for a living, And I'm sorry if I sound a little harsh. Let me tone it down. Lord, we're going to tone it on down because I don't want to offend nobody. So that's important. But I'm just passionate about this, so I want you to really get this, okay? But you can read and write for a living. How about just read and write? Just read and write so you can figure it out. Get in your prayer closet, you and God. Lord, how we doing this? What we doing? How we putting this program together? How we creating this? How we getting this grant? How we doing this? Lord, I need time. And now you ain't got to worry about your money not, what they say, my mind on my money on my mind. You have already eliminated that. You ain't doing nothing strange for no change these days, okay? Now you just reading and writing, connected to the classroom, changing a real life problem that you were created to solve. So this is hack number one. It is my go-to for any and every mom because most of the moms that are stuck in public housing, and even dads, are there because of low educational attainment. So you are either there based on a situation you call situational poverty, you are there because of a generational poverty, or they call it intergeneration when there's more than one generation stuck in these low level pipelines. These pipelines like bottom feeders where everybody kind of feeds off of you. I'm gonna keep it going. So as you can see here with my, if you could really see this, in my associate's level, I was at what, 5,000 a semester. And then bachelor's, I was like 7,000 a semester. My master's, I was at 9,000. When I went to study for my PhD, I was at $12,000. And this allowed me to travel the world. I was a resident commissioner. I was a commissioner of a housing authority. So my money was coming in. My mind is not on my money. My money's not on my mind. And now I'm just solving problems. Now it took me 9 years to even study and get the blueprint as to how I was going to help. And then once I figured that out, boo, it was over. We started making money accessing contracts, okay? And so if you learn, I'm going to show you how to get access to those contracts in a minute. But let's get to hacking number 2. Resident owned business. Did you know that you could Google actually 24 CFR 963? I want you to Google 24 CFR 963. It's the 24 Code of Federal Regulation 963, and it talks about resident owned businesses. And right here, it basically says the purpose is to enhance economic opportunities of public housing residents by providing public housing authorities with the method of soliciting and contracting with eligible and qualified resident owned businesses. What? For public housing services, for supplies, for contracts. So, boo, the monies that's coming through the housing authorities are really supposed to go through you first. And they have a whole entire system and setup, procurement, the whole 9 yards, policies set up just to do business with you. You can actually go Google it, watch it yourself. But here's the interesting part about a resident owned business that you need to know, that they can't just count the income the business received. Why? Because the business received the income, you didn't. So you have to legally establish a business. Come on paper legally through the business pipeline so that you can now file. They will have to wait till you file your taxes because they take the net, not the gross. So if your business was able to secure some contracts, let's say your business secured a $50,000 contract. Most of us think, oh, I'm not going to take that $50,000 because I don't want my rent to go up. Well, guess what? If you did it in your business name and they contracted with your business, because people don't contract, well, they can contract with you personally through a 1099, which you are an independent contractor. But in this case, right here, resident owned business, legal business entity, running everything legal through your business, okay? And they have to wait till you fill out this Schedule C. So this is a Schedule C. It's a tax form. Okay, and that's why you need an accountant. Accountants are not expensive, I can promise you. You can get your taxes filed for anywhere between $200 to $500. But the expenses are paid out first. So remember that contract for $50,000 we talked about. So you have a contract for $50,000, but you have all of these expenses. You have internet, you have insurance, you have website, you have consultants, you have the price of doing business. Meaning, if you have a T-shirt company or you're supplying T-shirts, you need the equipment, the machines, the technology, the software, the hardware. You need the internet, you need the utilities, you need space. All of that has to come off the top before you can then tell housing what you really made. Because at the end of the year, if you did it right, your $50,000 contract, you actually may have lost money, meaning you spent more than what you even had, or you only made a little bit of money, like $1,000. So imagine having a $50,000 contract or $50,000 in revenue, spending $49,000, your net income or net profit would be $1,000. Now the housing authorities can only count that $1,000 for your income. So see, we're doing it all wrong, ladies and gentlemen. So I just showed you through one hack how to increase household cash and maximize your benefits, right? And then hack number 2, I told you basically how you could shelter and protect that income as it comes in. Because if you want to do both, go to school and run a business, you could. For the maximum, that's what I did. For the maximum impact, I increased and I protected. Increased and protected. I ran that play for almost a decade, if not more. What's important to know is sometimes the housing caseworkers don't even know this little method. So don't be surprised if they tell you we can't do that. You got to go over their heads. Come and join the Hacking Housers. We'll show you. Just keep paying attention because we're going on to Hacking Housing. Number 3. FSS. Now, this is for those that have the bachelor's. Maybe for the first 2 years, you went to school, got the associate's degree. Maybe another 2 years, you got a bachelor's degree. You want to make sure that your housing authority participates in the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. Why? Because it's the only program on earth that will allow you to pay your rent, and that whole increase of the rent goes into an escrow account. Now, what does that actually look like? So let's talk about, let's say right now your rent is 0. Right? If your rent is 0 or $50 or $100, and then you go to school and you put that time in, and now you got this job. This job is paying you $45,000 a year. Well, of course, your rent is going to go up. Don't let your rent go up just haphazardly for no reason. God dang. Like, let the rent go up on purpose. And when it go up, boo, we want to save the increases and put it in an escrow. That's why if you are living in a housing authority that does not even have an FSS program, you could get that started. That's a whole nother little play. I can show you how to do that. However, there's hundreds and hundreds of housing authorities that offer FSS. Some of them, they say they have a wait list. Many of them are sitting on their ass because they can't get nobody to come into the program. Don't ask me why. I think their marketing sucks. That's a whole nother story. But let's talk about, now your rent was 0, right? Now you join FSS, and let's say your rent goes up to $500. Well, boom, $500. What's the difference between 0 and $500? $500. And minus any other deductions they got going on. The rent calculations could be very complicated, to say the least, but you get the point. The increase of the rent. If your rent was 0, now it's 500. That increase goes into an escrow account for up to 7 whole years. 7 years. 7 years. Right. So in 7 years, you could literally have $87,000, and you could go buy a property in your business name. I mean, if you really want to pimp this out like all the way, we're talking about the ultimate come up right here. So here we go. That was actually hack number 3. So here is, I want to just show you, this is me right here.
Guys, look at this
I wish
right here.
I traveled the whole United States
Right
to get moms off the welfare system. My name is R.W. Jones, and guess what? If you are about that life, if you are about the come up, if you are about doing your best to get your best because you deserve the best, then I need you to click the link somewhere in the description, in the bio, and I need you to become a Hacking Houser. Ladies and gentlemen, I have made this thing super, super affordable. It's $3 a month. Can you afford $3? Can you go get God for 3? One for the Father, one for the Son, one for the Holy Spirit, right? Let's get it. So we can show you, because this is just 3 hacks. It's at least 20. It's at least 20 hacks. You can access all the hacks within the system, within the Hacking Housing community. So you're going to get weekly hacks. I come on live every single week. Sometimes twice a week. We have ambassadors in there who have mastered certain parts, but we have a community of moms who are implementing various steps, whether they're in public housing and or Section 8, whether they're doing the employment, the education, the entrepreneurship, or the equity track. Either way, find your place in the Hacking Housing community. Click the link in the description. Subscribe if you want to be notified of any new updates that I have coming out. And I just welcome you to your come up. I am dedicated. I am absolutely thrilled about your come up. So let's go. See you guys.